It's crazy to think, isn't it? And we have to roll back to COVID, which seems like a whole different world away.
It's like a whole world, over 5 years.
It is.
Scary.
But I remember that during the COVID period, during lockdown, we jumped on an audio-only platform called Clubhouse.
The infamous Clubhouse.
And Clubhouse was, as a platform, it was really clever because it offered audio-only. You could create rooms and bring in audiences and talk about specific topics. The fatal flaw, but worked really well during COVID, was it was live.
Yeah.
So unless you were available at that time, and I remember we had the conversation and we said, wouldn't it be great to continue doing Clubhouse, but we need it in a format that enables people to listen when they want,
not
where
just
they
be
want.
there, yeah.
And that was kind of well, why don't we do a podcast? And the next stage on was there. We said, okay, so if we're going to do a podcast, what's it going to be? And obviously our world is the business of dentistry. So that was the obvious place to go. But we also know that people are interested in people. So we had to have something.
Definitely.
And then we hit on the idea of, wouldn't it be amazing to get life stories, share business tips, but also make it fun?
Yeah. And I think, in the however many episodes that we have done, and I think it's coming up 200, isn't it? That whole thing of, I think people's feedback from what you hear is that we enjoy ourselves, which helps our guests enjoy themselves. And there is always that element of fun in it. There's seriousness, there's some real sadness and some real emotion and stuff like that, and things that we know from people that we've known. I think one of the things I used to love about it was some of the people that we have known for a while, we found things out. Not like we're some sort of like clever detective, but they would just share, wouldn't they?
Well, I think many of the guests, they found it quite cathartic. I don't think that you get many opportunities in life where somebody quizzes you about your life.
No, that's
and
very true.
Wants it kind of almost a chronology from your childhood to your dental school experience, to your professional clinical career, your family. How do you manage all the different elements of your life? And I think the guests have been amazing because they've been really open. They've shared their stories with us.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right. Actually, as you were saying, I think one of the things that's interesting about people nowadays is a lot of people don't actually ask anything about you. They like to tell you all about them. And I think where the podcasters hit home is it's about them. We're sort of facilitators, aren't we?
Well, I think one of the nicest compliments I've had is people say, you ask questions and shut up.
Yeah.
And we probably talk for less than 10% of every episode, because why have a guest on and then talk over them or talk yourself? Everybody wants to hear from them. Well, I want to hear from them. Well,
we say to people, isn't it, before they come on, we say to them, it's as if we met you in the pub or the coffee shop or something. All we want is a conversation with you.
Yeah.
That there's no trip hazards. We're not going to try and, we're not going to be Jeremy Paxman, for those of you who remember Jeremy Paxman. We're not going to be that political, we're going to trip you up and put you under pressure, because actually you just shut up, people will clam up. We want to know your story.
And also, I think we try to remember this is entertainment. Sure, there's great life stories, there's business tips, but it is, people aren't, this isn't going in their personal development plan. They're not getting CPD. This isn't adding towards a diploma.
No.
This is just purely for entertainment purposes. There's value in it. Yeah. People will still take things that are useful, but it is there for entertainment purposes.
What I can't believe is that how many tens of thousands of hours that people have listened to our podcast. It's sort of humbling in a way, don't you think so?
Yeah.
We're just two blokes who are sitting having a chat with guests who are telling us their stories, and we're facilitating it. And I can't remember. I think it's tens of thousands of listens, which when you actually sort of laid that out, it's a huge number of days that people are listening to us.
Oh, absolutely. And the other thing that I love is that the people who are listening, they're going to grab a nugget or two.
There's always something.
And it's going to be something that's going to help them go off in a slightly different direction or give them a new perspective on something. Or, as you said, there's been some quite raw issues discussed as well.
Yeah.
And it might make people look and think about their own situation as well.
I think some of the things I found funny, or not funny, I'm not sure if funny is the right word, is quite startling, is when you've had it happen to you, and I know it's been times when we've been together, when we'll be talking and people will recognise us by our voices. which I find quite odd, really, that someone goes, "Oh yeah, you're Chris Jones, you're Andy Acton. I listened to your podcast," and it's like, "Oh, that's a bit sort of weird." Don't you think so? I just think the fact of our voice, that someone has listened to us enough to recognise our voice when we're standing at a function and they happen to be up behind us. That never ceases to blow me away, and I thank you for anyone who's listened. I think we are both truly honoured.
Oh yeah,
that people have bothered to listen to us ramble on.
It's been a great privilege, and hopefully through the process we've helped educate, inform, and bring along the conversation around the business of dentistry.
Yeah, and it's been a hoot.
It's
been a true hoot.
Yeah, it's been brilliant.